Hare Krishna. My name is Silvan. I'm 21 years old and I was born in Switzerland. And actually, I came across Krishna consciousness when I went to Germany on my travelings, looking for a spiritual truth. And it was actually only very short meeting with the devotees. Someone invited me to come to a temple. It was an organic gardener who I had some contact with in Germany, and he brought me to the temple just for one evening program, and we had kirtan, we had some class, and we had prasadam, and actually I didn't know anything about Krishna consciousness before that, but I had quite a good impression, and I didn't meet the devotees for a long time after that, because I was kept traveling a long time, and finally in 2011 I think I met the devotees again, and it happened that my neighbor knew a devotee family from Switzerland, and he told me, why don't you just meet them? They're nice people. I'm sure you have very similar interests. So we met and we talked about eco-communities, a lot of things about spiritual things and self-sustainability. That's what I was interested into. And it came that they told me they were going to India for 6 months in just about 3 weeks, and then I asked them if I could join them for some time, because actually I was already inspired to go to India for a long time by different people. My neighbors have been to India, some friends have been to India, so I was actually looking for someone who will travel with me to India, just to see what it's all about. Maybe there is something higher, some spiritual truth there. So I was very happy that actually very spontaneously I could go with these devotees to India, and I spent about 5 months on my first visit to India. I stayed the most time with this devotee family, and in where was it? Gokarna in Karnataka in South India. And very soon I started learning a lot about Krishna consciousness. First I was very skeptic because I heard a lot of different philosophies, and I was quite disappointed by many different philosophies and religions I've heard about. So came to the point before I met the devotees, I came to the point that there is an impersonal, absolute truth, and that in the end we all become one, or that we are just the energy, everything is energy, material energy, spiritual energy, it's all one, something like that. So, and actually that's what most popular philosophies today are talking about. So they go towards this impersonal conception. But actually then very soon I started realizing that all these concepts about personal aspect of the supreme truth are make a lot of sense. It's much higher than the impersonal aspect, because if you come from a materialistic background, then all you can do, if you don't have the right input, all you can do is just speculate, and most times you just come to that conclusion that there is impersonal absolute truth, and we just become one. But actually, if one is serious about spiritual life, if one is trying to look for something higher, then he will very quickly understand that how everything works, that there is a supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, and what the relationship between the spirit soul, the individual soul, and that supreme person is, and what the role is that we are playing in this material world. So I more or less started to accept this Krishna conscious process, and by the mercy of the Vaishnavas I got to do a lot of different services during that time. We had tulsi plants around the house, we had some Jagannath and Gaunitai deities in that house in Gokarna, and sometimes I was just doing some service, watering the tulsi plants, offering food to the deities, cleaning the temple, things like that. And as we know, Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, who appeared 500 years ago in Sridham Mayapur. And his role is to give love of God to everyone. And actually he's only looking for the slightest opportunity for the slightest reason to give love of God to a person, to give his mercy. So because I had this opportunity to do all these different kinds of little services, I got the desire to actually visit Sridham Mayapur. The devotees told me that there will be a festival. It's called the Gur Purnima festival, which will take place that was February 2012. So I got the desire to go there, and I went there. One friend came with me, and he helped me with the accommodation, and then more or less I was on my own in Mayapur. And I was so amazed what I saw there. It was just overwhelming. So many devotees from all over the world, thousands of devotees came there, and I met with a lot of devotees, and then I thought, this is it. There's nothing, I've never seen something like this before. So, and I was inquiring from the devotees, how can I progress in my spiritual life? How can I take up this process of Krishna consciousness? So I met several senior devotees, Navina Nirada from Switzerland and Chanananda Maharaj from UK, and some other devotees, and I came to the conclusion that the best is to actually go to the UK, because that's the closest bigger temple from where I used to live. And they advised me to do the Bhakta training there, the Bhakta program. So I went just straight after my India visit to Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, where Srila Prabhupada used to spend a lot of his time in the 70s. And first of all, I went there just to find out more about it, try to get more knowledge about the Vedas, because it was called the Veda course. But the more I learned about it, the more I gave up all my previous conceptions about knowledge, about truth, about life. And actually I came to the understanding that whatever I've learned before, it's nothing substantial. I didn't really know anything. I didn't even know who I am. Most people are walking through the world, through their life, and they seem to be very busy. but actually they even don't know where they are actually going. It's actually quite sad, but that's how it is. So after that course I was doing, I decided to stay for some more time at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and pretty much since then, since around April 2012, I have been serving at the Bhaktivedanta Manor in London, and I had the opportunity to travel again to India for 2 more times and visit all the holy places. And every time I come to Mayapur, to Vrindavan, or any other temple, I feel so enlivened, because spiritual life is ever fresh. There's always something new, always something more, and some more opportunity to serve. So that's it. That's how I came to Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.